The hospital room reeked of antiseptic and regret as Ethan clutched his father's hand, the beeps of the monitor echoing like a countdown. "Promise me, son," his father rasped, eyes glazing over. "You'll marry Sarah and keep the family name strong. No deviations." In that moment, Ethan's secret life with Marcus flashed before him, and as his father flatlined, the weight of those words crushed him, forcing a choice that would unravel everything. Ethan stared at the sterile white ceiling, his mind racing. He was 28, heir to Harrington Industries, a manufacturing empire built in the heart of Chicago. His father, Robert Harrington, had been a pillar of conservative values, church every Sunday, donations to anti-LGBT causes, and a rigid expectation that Ethan would produce the next generation of Harringtons. But Ethan had been living a double life for 2 years, deeply in love with Marcus, his college roommate turned partner, a graphic designer from a liberal family in Brooklyn. The funeral was a blur of black suits and sympathetic nods. Ethan's mother, Evelyn, clung to him, her face etched with grief. "Your father wanted the best for you," she whispered during the eulogy. Sarah, Ethan's on-again off-again girlfriend from high school, sat in the front row, her eyes hopeful. They had dated publicly to appease his parents, but it was all a facade. Marcus attended discreetly, slipping in the back, his presence a silent anchor for Ethan. After the burial, the family gathered at the Harrington estate, a sprawling mansion on the outskirts of the city. Ethan's younger sister, Lila, pulled him aside. "Dad's will is being read tomorrow. You know what he expected." Lila was 25, sharp-witted and ambitious, working in the company's marketing department. She idolized their father and shared his views on tradition. That night, Ethan met Marcus in a dimly lit bar downtown. Marcus, with his tousled dark hair and warm brown eyes, slid into the booth. "How are you holding up?" he asked, his hand brushing Ethan's under the table. "I can't do this anymore," Ethan confessed, his voice breaking. "The will, it's going to tie me down. Dad made it clear. Marry Sarah or lose everything." Marcus's face hardened. "So what? You're going to throw us away for money?" "It's not just money. It's the company, the employees, the legacy. Thousands depend on it." Their argument escalated, voices hushed but intense. Marcus accused Ethan of cowardice, of prioritizing image over love. Ethan defended himself, citing the homophobic board members and the potential backlash in their conservative industry. They parted on bitter terms, Marcus storming out into the rainy night. The next day, at the lawyer's office, the will was unveiled. Robert had left the controlling shares to Ethan, but with conditions: marriage to a woman within a year, and proof of commitment to family values. Failure meant the shares went to a cousin, a devout evangelical who would likely dismantle the progressive policies Ethan had quietly implemented. Evelyn nodded approvingly. "Your father knew you'd do the right thing." Sarah, invited by Evelyn, smiled tentatively. Lila squeezed Ethan's arm. "This is your chance to honor him." Ethan felt trapped. He drove aimlessly afterward, ending up at Marcus's apartment. They reconciled in a rush of emotions, but the tension lingered. "We have to fight this," Marcus urged. "Come out. Challenge the will." But Ethan hesitated. The thought of losing the company terrified him. It wasn't just wealth. It was his identity, built around being the perfect son. That night, as they lay in bed, Ethan whispered, "What if I can't?" Over the following weeks, the pressure mounted. Evelyn arranged dinners with Sarah, pushing for an engagement. "She's perfect for you," she insisted. Sarah, unaware of Ethan's sexuality, confessed her lingering feelings. "I always thought we'd end up together." Ethan played along publicly, but privately, his relationship with Marcus strained. They argued about secrecy, about the ethics of deceiving Sarah. Marcus wanted openness. Ethan feared ruin. One evening, at a company gala, Ethan introduced Sarah as his date. Marcus, invited as a friend, watched from afar, jealousy boiling. After, in the parking lot, Marcus confronted him. "This is betrayal, Ethan. You're choosing them over us." "It's temporary," Ethan pleaded. But Marcus walked away, leaving Ethan alone with his doubts. The internal conflict gnawed at Ethan. He attended therapy secretly, grappling with guilt. Was he dishonoring his father? Betraying his true self? The societal expectations in their Midwest circle amplified the shame. Whispers about family values at board meetings, judgmental stares from old family friends. Lila noticed Ethan's distraction at work. "What's going on? You seem off." When he brushed her off, she grew suspicious, digging into his life. She discovered texts on his phone one day, piecing together the affair. Confronting him in his office, Lila's face twisted in disbelief. "Marcus? You're gay?" Dad would be devastated. "It's not a choice, Lila. It's who I am." "But the company. You can't throw it away for this." Their argument turned heated. Lila threatened to tell Evelyn, forcing Ethan's hand. He begged for time, but the seed of division was planted. As the part drew to a close, Ethan stood at his father's grave, rain pouring down. "Why did you make me promise that?" he whispered. The decision loomed. Uphold the legacy or embrace his truth. Knowing either path demanded a heavy price. The fallout from Lila's discovery rippled through Ethan's life like a stone in still water. She gave him an ultimatum. End things with Marcus or she'd expose him to their mother and the board. "This isn't just about you," she argued. "It's about the family name, the business. Dad built this for us." Ethan met Marcus in a quiet park the next day, the autumn leaves crunching underfoot. "Lila knows," he said, his voice trembling. Marcus's eyes widened. "Then it's time. Come out. We'll face it together." But Ethan wavered. The thought of Evelyn's reaction, her fragile health after the funeral, her devout Catholicism, terrified him. "She might disown me. And the company. We'd lose everything." Marcus pulled away. "You're always choosing fear over us. Maybe we're not worth it to you." Their breakup was raw, filled with accusations. Marcus accused Ethan of internalized homophobia. Ethan countered that Marcus didn't understand the stakes. They parted with harsh words, Marcus blocking Ethan's number. Alone, Ethan threw himself into work, proposing expansions to eco-friendly manufacturing. Ideas his father would have dismissed. But the board, loyal to Robert's vision, resisted. "We need stability," one member said, eyeing Ethan suspiciously. Sarah sensed his turmoil during their stage dates. "You seem distant," she noted over dinner. Ethan confessed partial truths. Stress from the will, family pressures. She offered support, misinterpreting it as romantic hesitation. "We can take it slow," she said, leaning in. Guilt consumed Ethan. Deceiving Sarah felt immoral, a betrayal of her trust. He considered telling her, but feared she'd react poorly, spreading rumors in their tight-knit social circle. Meanwhile, Lila monitored him closely. She confided in a family friend, a pastor, seeking advice on saving her brother. The pastor urged intervention, reinforcing her belief that Ethan's orientation was a phase, influenced by modern temptations. Evelyn, oblivious, planned an engagement party for Ethan and Sarah. "It's what your father wanted," she beamed. Ethan nodded numbly, the noose tightening. In a moment of desperation, Ethan reached out to an old college friend, a lawyer specializing in LGBTQ rights. Over coffee, he explained the will. "It's discriminatory," the lawyer said. "We could challenge it in court, but it'd be public messy." The idea appealed and repelled Ethan. Publicity meant outing himself, facing media scrutiny in Chicago's conservative business scene. Stock prices could plummet. Employees might leave. That night, dreams haunted him. His father's disapproving face, Marcus's hurt eyes. He woke sweating, realizing the moral quandary. Honor a dead man's bigoted wishes or fight for equality, risking livelihoods? Social pressures amplified. At a charity event, a board member joked about those gays ruining traditional marriage. Ethan forced a laugh, hating himself. Later, he vomited in the bathroom, the facade cracking. Lila confronted him again. "I saw you talking to that lawyer. Are you really going to destroy everything for a fling?" "It's not a fling," Ethan snapped. I love him. Lila recoiled. Love? This is sin, Ethan. Dad taught us better. Their debate delved into ethics, nature versus nurture, faith versus science. Lila clung to scripture. Ethan cited studies on sexuality. It ended in tears, Lila storming out. Seeking solace, Ethan drove to Brooklyn, showing up at Marcus's door unannounced. I miss you, he admitted. Marcus let him in reluctantly. They talked for hours, rekindling sparks, but Marcus demanded commitment. No more hiding. They spent the night talking, not touching boundaries set. In the morning, Ethan promised change, but doubt lingered. Back in Chicago, Evelyn collapsed from stress, hospitalized with high blood pressure. Blaming herself for not supporting Ethan enough, she confessed, I just want you happy, but following your father's path. Visiting her, Ethan held back tears. The doctor's words echoed. She needs calm. Revealing now could kill her. The dilemma peaked when Sarah proposed privately. Let's make it official, she said, ring in hand. Ethan froze, the room spinning. He declined gently, citing unreadiness. Hurt. Sarah left, whispering, Is there someone else? Rumors spread. Lila, furious, leaked hints to the board. Whispers of instability grew. Ethan faced a crossroads. Reconcile with Marcus and challenge the will, or suppress his identity for family harmony. Each choice carried profound costs, emotional, financial, relational. As tensions simmered, Ethan attended a secret support group for closeted professionals. Hearing stories of regret and liberation, he pondered his own path. The group's leader warned, hiding erodes your soul. Driving home, Ethan called Marcus. I'm ready to fight, he said, but Marcus hesitated. You've said that before. The part closed with Ethan staring at his reflection. The man in the mirror a stranger, torn between love and legacy. The price of authenticity looming large. The decision to challenge the will ignited a firestorm. Ethan hired the lawyer, filing a lawsuit claiming discrimination based on sexual orientation. The news broke in the Chicago Tribune. Harrington heir sues over homophobic will. The headline sent shockwaves through the family and company. Evelyn, recovering at home, confronted Ethan in the living room. How could you? She cried, clutching her rosary. Your father loved you. This is betrayal. It's not about him, Ethan replied, voice steady. It's about me living truthfully. She slapped him, the sound echoing. You're destroying us. Lila stood by, nodding. You've chosen sin over family. The board called an emergency meeting. Members grilled Ethan. This publicity is damaging our reputation, the chairman said. Stocks dipped 5%. Clients pulled contracts, citing instability. Ethan defended himself. The company needs to evolve. Inclusivity is the future. But whispers of resignation circulated. Marcus flew to Chicago, supporting Ethan publicly for the first time. They appeared together at a press conference, hands clasped. Love isn't a choice, Marcus stated. Cameras flashed, capturing the moment. Social media exploded. Support from LGBTQ allies poured in, but hate mail arrived daily. Threats from conservatives, disownment calls from distant relatives. Ethan's email flooded with slurs. At home, the rift deepened. Evelyn refused to speak to him, attending church more fervently. Lila moved out temporarily, aligning with the cousin who could inherit. You're selfish, she texted. Ethan's internal turmoil raged. Nights were sleepless, questioning if the fight was worth the pain. Therapy sessions unpacked childhood conditioning. His father's disapproval of effeminate boys, the pressure to excel in sports. A pivotal confrontation occurred at a family dinner Evelyn insisted on. We need to heal, she said stiffly. But arguments erupted. Lila accused Ethan of faking his orientation for attention. Marcus, invited against odds, defended him. This is real. Denying it hurts everyone. Evelyn broke down. I raised you better. She revealed her own struggles. A gay brother shunned by their parents, dying alone. I don't want that for you, but society. The revelation humanized her, sparking Ethan's empathy. Then help me change it, he pleaded. But progress stalled. The lawsuit dragged, legal fees mounting. Marcus grew frustrated with Ethan's lingering doubts. You're still half in, he said during a heated call. Betrayal struck when Lila testified against Ethan in court, claiming his lifestyle unstable. He's not fit to lead, she said. The judge's skeptical gaze burned. Ethan felt the sting deeply. How could you? He asked her afterward. For the family, she replied coldly. Society's backlash intensified. Protests outside the company. Supporters versus opponents. Ethan received death threats, forcing security hires. Marcus urged relocation, but Ethan refused. This is my fight. Their relationship strained under pressure. Marcus questioned Ethan's commitment. Am I just a symbol now? A turning point came at a gala for LGBTQ rights. Ethan spoke publicly, sharing his story. Applause thundered, but a heckler shouted slurs. Security escorted him out, but the incident shook Ethan. Backstage, Marcus embraced him. I'm proud. They reconciled, but the cost was evident. Marcus's job suffered from association. As the trial loomed, Ethan reflected on morality. Was challenging the will right or disrespectful to the dead? The debate tore at him. Friends divided. Some applauded bravery, others mourned the family split. The part ended with Ethan visiting his father's grave again. Did you ever love me for me? He asked the stone. The wind whispered no answer, leaving him to ponder the irreversible choices. Court proceedings turned the lawsuit into a spectacle. Witnesses paraded. Psychologists testifying on sexuality, board members on business impact, family on personal toll. Ethan's lawyer argued equal protection under law. The estates defended testamentary freedom. Evelyn took the stand, tears streaming. I love my son, but his father had wishes. Cross-examination revealed her biases, eliciting jury sympathy for Ethan. Lila's testimony backfired when she admitted prejudice. I just want what's best, she faltered. Marcus supported Ethan daily, but cracks showed. Relocating temporarily to Chicago, he missed Brooklyn's freedom. This city's suffocating, he confided. A bombshell dropped. The cousin, poised to inherit, was exposed for embezzlement in his own firm. Ethan's team used it to argue instability. Public opinion shifted. Media profiles humanized Ethan, a dedicated CEO, loving partner. Donations surged to LGBTQ causes in his name. But personal costs mounted. Evelyn's health declined. Doctors linked it to stress. Guilt plagued Ethan. Am I killing her? He asked Marcus. No, Marcus reassured. She's choosing hate over love. Reconciliation attempts failed. At a mediated session, Evelyn demanded Ethan repent. He refused. This is me. Lila, seeing the cousin's flaws, wavered. Maybe I was wrong, she admitted privately, but pride held her back. Society's mirror reflected harshly. Conservative clients boycotted. Progressive ones endorsed. The company pivoted, launching diversity initiatives. Ethan's vision realized amid chaos. Internally, Ethan battled depression. Medication helped, but doubts persisted. Was love worth the destruction? A betrayal from within. A board member leaked confidential emails, twisting them to portray Ethan as reckless. Stocks plummeted further. Marcus confronted the leaker anonymously online, risking his own safety. You're brave, Ethan said, but worried. Their bond deepened through adversity, but arguments arose over strategy. Marcus pushed aggression, Ethan caution. A key decision. Settle or fight. The lawyer advised settlement, partial shares, no marriage clause. But Ethan rejected. Full equality or nothing. The trial's climax. Ethan's testimony. He bared his soul, childhood repression, love for Marcus, father's conditional affection. The jury teared up. Verdict pending, tension peaked. Family gathered warily. Evelyn whispered, I miss my son. The part closed with Ethan and Marcus on a rooftop, city lights below. "Whatever happens, we have each other," Marcus said. But Ethan wondered the price of victory. The jury ruled in Ethan's favor. The will's conditions unconstitutional. Cheers erupted in court. Ethan hugged Marcus, tears flowing. "We did it." Media frenzy ensued. Headlines praised progress. Critics decried judicial overreach. The company stabilized, stocks rebounding with positive PR. But victory was bittersweet. Evelyn disowned Ethan formally. "You're no longer my son," her letter read. Lila, torn, reached out tentatively. "I need time." The cousins sued separately, prolonging drama. Legal battles drained resources. Ethan and Marcus moved in together in Chicago, building a life. But shadows lingered. Marcus resented the toll. "I feel like a prop in your story." Ethan promised balance, but work consumed him, restructuring the company inclusively. Social acceptance varied. Friends celebrated. Others distanced. At a wedding they attended, stares followed. Internal awakening grew. Ethan volunteered at LGBTQ centers, mentoring youth. "Your choices define you," he told them, reflecting his journey. A confrontation with Lila at a cafe. "I was scared," she admitted. "Dad's views blinded me." They hugged, starting mending. Evelyn resisted longer. A health scare brought her to Ethan's door. "I don't understand, but I love you," she whispered. Reunion was gradual, therapy aided. Evelyn met Marcus, awkward but civil. Betrayals healed slowly. The leaker was fired. Trust rebuilt. Marcus proposed unexpectedly during a walk. "Through it all, you're my choice." Ethan accepted, ring symbolizing commitment. Planning the wedding highlighted contrasts. Evelyn's reluctance versus excitement from new allies. Moral reflections deepened. Ethan pondered. Did he dishonor his father or honor truth? The company thrived under inclusive policies, proving change's value. As high faded, reality set. Death threats persisted. Security became norm. Marcus struggled with fame's intrusion. Is this our life now? They navigated, therapy strengthening bonds. The part ended with Ethan addressing the board. "We've paid dearly, but progress demands sacrifice." Applause rang, but he knew the costs intimately. With the wedding approaching, tensions resurfaced. Evelyn attended rehearsals reluctantly, her presence a fragile piece. Lila served as maid of honor, her support genuine but shadowed by past hurts. Society's gaze intensified. Conservative media labeled it a mockery. Protests planned outside the venue. Ethan and Marcus debated eloping. "Why risk more pain?" Marcus asked. "Because visibility matters," Ethan replied. "For others like us." The ceremony was beautiful. Under Chicago's skyline, vows exchanged tearfully. "I choose you despite the world," Ethan said. Guests included allies, absent foes. Evelyn clapped softly, a step forward. Honeymoon in Hawaii brought respite, but return faced realities. The company faced a boycott from old partners. Ethan decided to sell shares, starting a foundation for LGBTQ rights. Legacy isn't buildings, it's impact. Lila took over operations, proving capable. "You've taught me," she said. Evelyn moved closer, bonding over time. "I was wrong," she admitted one evening. Marcus pursued his art, flourishing. Their life normalized, dinners, travels, quiet moments. But reflections on choices lingered. The pain inflicted, Evelyn's health, Lila's trust, Sarah's heartbreak. She moved on, forgiving. Ethan wrote a memoir, sparking debates on family, faith, society. Years passed. They adopted a child, facing new prejudices but stronger. The story culminated in Ethan at his father's grave once more. "I hope you'd understand now." In the end, was sacrificing family ties for personal truth the right choice, or did it cause unnecessary suffering?